Hey, I want to welcome all my old friends. Listen, life happens to all of us. So let's close our eyes. Just put yourself on mute and do a little meditation. Okay. Uh, I want you all to gaze at this very unusual statue, Murti. It is actually for good karma and good health. The biggest wealth is actually health. Okay. You only realize it when it kind of slips away here and there for all of us. So this statue is Dhanvantari, Lord of Ayurveda, all healing, really. And when you look at the iconography, he holds like a conch shell in one hand, which is really a call to action for all of us to take care of us. And then he holds a pot, the Amrita, and in the mythology, I'll go over it, he brings healing. But you can also superimpose whatever you want. So tomorrow I'm taking the flu and COVID vaccine. So I'm going to superimpose vaccine on that for now. Yeah. And that's totally up to you, brothers and sisters, whether you believe in the vaccine or not. I love you all. I'm not like into one camp or the other. As I've repeatedly said, there are 5 things we're not supposed to talk about in public: politics, religion, nutrition, vaccination, and masturbation. And I violate all of them. Okay. And then on this hand, he holds the Charvaka Samhita, the Ayurvedic scriptures. And this hand, he holds a lotus. Okay. So just gaze at this image. This is called Didi Yoga meditation in Buddhism, Shamatha meditation. And then close your eyes, please. We're going to have Diwali coming soon in India in early November. And it's a 5-day festival. We're actually going to be spending it in Varanasi. Those who are coming on the Yatra, their karmas are aligned to come. And Diwali is a BFD. It's a culmination of literally all the festivals of the year. And the main deity is goddess Lakshmi. And that puja happens on the 3rd day, goddess of aliveness. I call Lakshmi goddess of aliveness, Kundalini, abundance, luminosity. They're all linked. But the first day of the festival is called Dhanteras. And an average person, when they use the word dhan, they think it means wealth, material wealth. But as I said, the real wealth is spiritual, health. It's actually health. It's only when it slips away, you really notice the absence of health. And I've had 6 people tell me over the last few days that their health has momentarily slipped. That's why we're going to do a meditation on Dhanvantari. Because in the mythology, he comes from the churning, what's called the churning of the ocean of milk. But the metaphor is the churning in our mind of the good and the bad karmas we have. What's called the devas and the asuras, the gods and the demons. Because we've had the good karmas, some of us who signed on to come on the Yatra, pilgrimage to India next month. But there's also bad karmas, the asuras. Sura is light, asura is away from the light. These are karmas that come into our life. It could be financial, lack of finances. It could be time. It could be health. It could be relationships. Many things that hold us back. And that's very typical in life. We have the good karmas and bad karmas. But the spiritual path is we churn the good and the bad karmas. And there's a whole story, but I'm going to use it directly as a metaphor for our spiritual journey. You churn using that mountain, Mount Mandara. Man is mind, Dhara means single pointed. And the whole idea is you get single pointed in your spiritual journey. And Lord Vishnu balances the mountain on his back in his Kurma avatar, the tortoise. So the whole idea of Vishnu is he protects us. He's the sustainer. And the first thing to churn the gods and the demons in our mind, the good and the bad karmas, is you need that big cobra, Vasuki, that's used to rotate the mountain and churn it in this cosmic ocean of milk, which is really a mind. And the snake represents desire. It could be a desire to awaken spiritually, but the ultimate desire is Kundalini awakening, which is the same as moksha, enlightenment. Like the way the snake sheds its skin, symbolizing ultimate transformation. We get this ultimate alchemy of transmuting directly to the formless from a form. Because when we take the appearance of the form and identify with the form, there's going to be bad karma. That's part of the whole deal. It comes with us in a backpack when we're born, both good and bad karma. And they keep coming up at different points in our life. And these karmas are so many, and over so many lifetimes, like millions of karma, you can never do enough good karma to eradicate all the bad ones. It's always going to be there. But you can pull the rug under the karma by removing the locus on which the karma stick, which is really your ego. And that's where the single pointedness of the spiritual journey is. Go past the ego to realize the self. In that state of self-realization, there are no karmas. The karmas get burnt off. That's why people want to be near enlightened sages and saints, like we're going to do in India. Because no karmas stick to them, so they take on your karmas. But I would say that's still at a very beginning level. You want to be exactly like them, self-realized. That's our full potential as human beings. So in the churning of the ocean of milk, the mind The snake is wrapped around the mountain, Mount Mandara, and churns. And the first thing that comes out is halahal poison from the snake's mouth. This is like deep, dark karma that comes out. That kind of really makes us stuck. It makes us stuck into what's called FUD, fear, uncertainty, doubt. I see a lot of that in a lot of people anywhere I go, be it spiritual or the pickleball community or anyone I meet. There's a lot of free-floating anxiety without a cause. COVID has made it worse. So that's what that poison represents. But Shiva comes and drinks that poison. So when you work with Shiva, especially the Shiva Lingam we're going to go to, the Mahakaleshwar, the Jyotirlingas at Omkareshwar and Varanasi, they are meant to crack your heart open. And then Lakshmi comes from the churning. You know, that's the hero's journey, where you go past the turning point from the mud, and Lakshmi comes, holding the lotus, the aliveness, the luminosity. And finally, Lord Dhanvantri, the Lord of Ayurveda, good health, good karma, emerges in our lives, holding this pot. Please open your eyes gently and look at the Dhanvantri, especially his left hand holding the pot. That's the Amrita, the nectar of immortality. Because the real nectar, the real wealth, the real health is a shift in identification from a body and mind, which are rental equipment, to immortal self. That's really what he's holding. And that's a form of Vishnu. So welcome everyone. I'm also here to answer any questions. I know a couple of you will want to leave early. I see Rick Baba. Are you in North Carolina, Rick? I see Rick. I see Brandon Baba from Mexico. Rick?
Yeah, I'm in Braintree, Massachusetts, but near Boston now.
Yeah, I used
Can you hear me?
Yes, I hear you. My daughter went to Amherst College, a little west of you. And I had a home for a while in Northampton area, where I would teach on the East Coast. Nice area. I see.
Yeah, it's a good area.
Yeah. Thank you, Rick. And Brandon, welcome from Mexico.
Thank you for having me. I'm glad I could make it. The Wi-Fi is working, so that's good.
Hey, thank her for me. So I'm going to ask you a trick question, which I asked everyone right in the beginning. Because you're a Kali devotee also. Okay, hold on. I never bring this Kali Murti to events. It's been at my home ashram the whole time. Can you see this? Can you tell us where are her two legs stepping on? Her right leg.
Shiva. Oh, his penis. His lingam.
Who said this?
The Pushpa.
Pushpa, I love it. You have high visual intelligence, VQ. So here's another next level. So the right leg, and I'm glad my friend Rich Ramesh Baba joined from North Carolina, because you're the one who actually showed me that his left leg, and you said specifically steps on Shiva's junk. You told me that at my temple. Remember that, Rich?
Yes, and I bought the one that did not do that. I wanted a kinder Kali.
Yeah, nobody's buying this from me. What to do?
What to do?
So the other leg is on Shiva's heart. Okay, that's the I am. That's the traditional interpretation. What does this interpretation mean? These are all symbolic, okay? These are all Jungian symbols, archetypes. When she steps on Shiva's lingam, what does it mean, Pushpa? Any thoughts on that? Or anyone?
So many, but I'd rather hear from you.
So it's the same as Kali's tongue. So look, that deity Kali is responsible for maximum number of enlightened beings. Okay. I mean, there's even a Baba in the Himalayas I talked about last time. He's been to many lingams, Jyotirlingams. He studied many philosophies. He came to the conclusion just gazing at this image and contemplating, okay, leads you to enlightenment, okay. So we're going to go to a temple in Kolkata called Kalika, where Kali's tongue comes all the way to her like navel. I'm getting goosebumps thinking about it, okay. So metaphorically, Kali's tongue represents the lingam. And the mouth is a yoni. Okay. So that is an obvious way to show us the path to the truth. The truth is Shiva, the I am, the formless nature of consciousness. We have the most juice in us, but we need these images and these consecrated, powerful temples to awaken us, to literally get us awake. Aaron Moon, welcome. Julia Baker, welcome. I was thinking about you. Normally you ask the most questions, but it just came on. So I'm saying, yeah. See, listen, I'm into metaphors, okay? I came in 84 as a grad student. I did a PhD in chemical physics, and I used Cray supercomputers and IBM 3090 parallel processor to do very complex molecular simulations, which are now the basis of AI. The supercomputer I used, this cell phone is much more powerful than that, this cell phone, okay? The same with I, the consciousness within is much, much more powerful, I would say, than even the images we see, than even the temples we're going to go to. But the realization of that is dormant, okay? How do you awake the self, the real juice? And that's where these images come in. But again, using these images at home is good, but it's using the cell phone power only as a flashlight. There's a lot more juice in them, especially when you go to a temple in India or cave. And that is meant to awaken us. So there are many practices you can do with the statue. We did one, which is meditate in front. You take, for instance, Ganesh. And then I'm going to tell you the ultimate practice of going to the formless that has been proved over thousands of years. You take this image, right? You see the mouse at the bottom? Yeah? Nod your head, so I need to get some feedback. Yeah? Thank you. Don't do this. wobble, because then I don't know if it's, that's the Indian wobble, right? So every Ganesh has a mouse here. See the mouse? And that's a mind, metaphorically, our minds wander. So when this big fat elephant dude rides on this mouse, he calms our mind. As I said in the beginning, there's a lot of FUD going on in the world. Fear, uncertainty, doubt. People are like freaking out without a reason. There's just a general malaise. Akemi, welcome from Los Angeles. Long time. There's just a general malaise that things are not okay. And when you work with Ganesh, he calms your mind. That's the first step. Okay. When the mind is calm, then you're ready for the real teachings of yoga. When Patanjali in the, first line of the Yoga Sutras, anyone remember Atha Yoga Anushasanam, which is now, Atha means now begin the study of yoga. That now doesn't mean it's like 6:20. No. It means all the preparatory work you've done, all the meditation. All of us have walked away from mainstream life, okay? Think about it. We're all a little weird. Weird is normal. Yeah, I'm probably the weirdest. I love weird, We walked away from quote unquote normal because it doesn't feel right for us, the normal world. So we're doing the work, we're calming the mind, and then he offers a sweet. This is a sweet of enlightenment. And this means no fear, abhaya. I'm just going through it real quick. And I hope you brought the abstract Ganesh, because I'll bring it up in a little bit, Pushpa, okay? This means no fear, okay? There's a chill, I got you covered. And this is usually outsized, okay, in all the statues. There's a reason. Again, to calm down for everyone. But these two symbols are very powerful. There's an axe on the right hand and the rope on the left hand. I had a great discussion with Catherine from Louisiana last weekend. I don't know if she's here. Anyone want to tell me what the axe of Ganesh in his right hand symbolizes to you? What does it mean to you?
Senses, cutting through the senses, cutting through this, being a slave to the senses, the five senses, is it?
Yes, and this is Pushpa again, right? Is that
Yeah.
Pushpa?
Yes.
What did you drink, Pushpa? Because I need the same drink. You're like switched on.
Water.
Okay. So, yeah, you're right. But, the philosophy says your senses are drawn into the world. There's too much bling bling, right? And when you go to Vegas, near where Beth lives, there's too much attachment. And here's the deep philosophy in a nutshell. The ego, your ego, it straddles a line between who you are in your heart. That's why the I am is the heart. That's why Kali's right foot is the heart. The I am, the big I, and the world. The ego is like the border. I'm near the world's biggest border crossing, San Diego, Tijuana. Even bigger than that is our border crossing. It's the border between I am consciousness in the heart and the world that includes a body and mind. A body and mind is also part of the world. You got to remember that. So when you wake up in the morning, in a split second, the ego goes from the heart to the back of our head. That's why we feel our ego resides, but it actually starts in the heart. And as I said, the ego is drawn into the world through the five senses. And it's very natural. It starts at the age of 2, the ego. That's why you have terrible 2s. So the axe of Ganesh, it chops that pull. And on the other hand, he holds a rope. That's a rope. Yeah, that's the axe, that's a rope. Axe, rope. He pulls the ego back home to the heart. He yanks it back, he lassos it back. So awakening actually again happens in the heart where the ego resides. The ego knows its home. So interestingly, the Sanskrit word for ego is ahamkara, A-H-A-M, I maker. And the Sanskrit word for the vastness of consciousness is maha, M-A-H-A. So what happens when Ganesh chops the pull of this world on our ego and flips it back? What happens when you flip aham back, A-H-A-M, flip it back? What do you get?
Aham Brahmasmi.
Brother Aaron, you and I go way back from my first retreat in 2012. And you hung around me while I was in my warehouse. I love you, brother. Long time. So yes, aham, you flip it back, A-H-A-M, you get maha. Right? Brahmasmi, what Aaron means is a maha. He didn't give the right answer, but his smile made up for it. So the individual aham becomes a macrocosmic maha. That's why he has an elephant head on a human body. The elephant head is maha, human body is aham. So Ganesh is a great liminal deity. The Ganesh you got, Jason, the dancing Ganesh, very powerful. He represents a great Mahavakya from the Vedas, Aham Brahmasmi. I am that, or Tattvamasi, that I am. Okay, there you go. I love Jason's Ganesh, the dancing Ganesh. Go a little back, Jason, so we can see the rat at the bottom. He actually dances like Nataraj on a big ass rat. That's a New York City rat, Jody, yeah? Not a little town mouse. And he dances and he sticks his butt out saying, I got a bigger butt. Okay. And you mentioned MC Yogi, Babananda. He came up to me at Bhakti Fest. He always comes to my booth and we hang out. Ganesh changed his life. 18 years ago, the Slim Baba buys a big Ganesh from me. And he gives me a CD before going saying he just came out. And he got Jyoti's CD and I was listening and he was rapping songs. I realized this guy is good and he becomes famous a month later as MC Yogi. Yeah. So sometimes it takes a little push by Ganesh, but the real impact of Ganesh is it takes us to the formless. Okay. That's really I want to stress. And how do we practice? You know, in the Western world, everyone wants practice. So I learned this from Deepak Chopra 18 years ago. How do you practice with the archetype? And Randy's from the same tradition. I don't know if I see Randy. Yeah, he's there. That's the Maharishi Mahesh Yogi TM tradition, Transcendental Meditation. And I don't know if you know this, Randy, but Maharishi Mahesh Yogi was a chemical engineer, like me and Dadi. We were chemical engineers, yeah?
He had a degree in physics, I know that much.
But he was also a chemical engineer, so there's hope for us, yeah? So I'm saying he taught this technique and Deepak kind of applied it, but you know, really you shouldn't claim credit in this tradition. This is all coming from oneness, okay? So you meditate in front of your archetype and then chant a mantra, Om Gam Ganpate Namaha, and open your eyes. So the mind sucks in, it's like a vacuum, all the symbols. And you awaken the archetype within you. I feel it's good for Westerners, okay, as a focus to meditate on. But when you see sages, sadhus, they're just being, okay, they're not doing. There's a difference between doing and being. Okay. Shiva is about being, and Shakti is about doing, and Ganesh is their offspring. That's why Ganesh is a son of Dubi, 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 Dubi. Yeah. So, in my opinion, the biggest practice you can do is no practice. Okay. That murti in your home or the temple we go to in India, you just have a glance at it. It's called darshan. But that murti gazes back at you. And then you get a hit. That's divine pranayama. That's divine breathing. Where you don't breathe, you're being breathed. Similarly, if you don't live, you're being lived. That's awakening. Okay. So I always stress there's IQ, EQ, and VQ, visual intelligence, where the form is designed to take us to the formless. And that's why these archetypes like Ganesh, Shiva Lingam, etc., they've always been around. It's a product of collective wisdom of millions and millions of sages. They still work with them. I mean, they still have them. You go visit ashrams, caves. We're going to visit Anandamayi ashram in Omkareshwar. They are beautiful murtis. Any sage you go to, you're going to find murtis. They never throw it away, even though it's like a pole vault. So I want to stress the form is designed to take us to the formless. And then you accompany it with philosophy. That's really why I'm drawn to Ramakrishna's tradition, because Ramakrishna was the priest at the Kali temple, Dakshineshwar in Kolkata. He actually saw Kali Ma. Just like Yogananda saw Kali Ma at Kalika temple, the other temple in Kolkata. I mean, these are people who have literally seen God and realized they are God themselves. This is about God realization. And I had to contemplate why Bengal has the highest number of saints. You know, Yogananda, Anandamayi, Ramakrishna, Vivekananda, Rabindranath Tagore, right from Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, who Bhavananda, you're going to go to Vrindavan, his sacred land, to do the parikrama. I've done that, brother. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu came up with that word kirtan in the 1400s. And now everyone's doing kirtan, but these sages feel the energy and they transmit it to us. And that's our potential, okay? So we're going to the most sacred part of the country, I feel, Bengal. And I'm excited. Now I just want to have Pushpa show us her Ganesh. Do you have your Ganesh, the abstract conch shell?
No, that wasn't me. I got Lakshmi and Saraswati. I do have Ganesh from you though. But I don't think it's the same one that you're talking
No,
about.
I'm a little confused. Is that
Yeah.
Riya?
Yeah, I have it.
Did I call you Pushpa or?
Yeah,
So,
that's okay. What to do?
so please show us. This is like, to me, an abstract Ganesh that goes from the form to the formless. So you look at, he's got 5 conch shells. Then you look in the back, there's 2 more conch shells. And the whole idea is the 7 chakras. And you blow the conch shell, you get the sound Om. And there's a deep connection between Ganesh and Om. You know, Om is the 3 states of consciousness. That's the Mandukya Upanishad. And that's why I'm saying the philosophy goes hand in hand. Thank you. It's really heavy. So there's an ancient text called Ganapati Atharva Shirsha, which is the Ganapati Upanishad, where Ganesh is a form of consciousness. That symbol of Ganesh you see, any kind of Ganesh, is really designed to take you to the formless. So this professor, American professor in Rochester, he got it. He wrote a book called Ganapati, Song of the Self. He really got the symbols of Ganesh. These are meant to awaken us. That's why Ganesh is the entrance deity for everything. And in this text, they talk about Ganesh and Om, where the three curves of Om are your waking, dreaming, and deep sleep. And the little curve above is Maya, and the dot is the I am. Yeah, Moses said the same thing, I am that I am, when he passed that bush on fire. Somebody speculated it's high quality DMT. I think that was Joe Rogan. But anyway, there's also a lot of questions about the plant medicine. Again, I hold no judgment. It's like the vaccine. But, Ramdas taught us. He's one of the great sages. And I saw Ramdas in one of the altars. Maybe it was Brandon Baba, right? Your altar, you showed me a picture. He got it. He's a regular guy, Richard Alpert. He went through the whole LSD thing. And he realized, Maharaji told him the spiritual juice is a lot more powerful. And we're all part of the tradition. Okay, so the three curves in Om are the same as Ganesh, because the tip of Ganesh's trunk is very sensitive. And that's a waking state. We're very sense-driven. We're like, you open your eyes, you see everything. You go up the trunk of Ganesh, that's a dream state. In a dream, we can carry 10 logs. And an elephant can carry 10 logs with a trunk. So it's strong and sensitive. You go to the big head, he's the world's biggest meditator. That's deep sleep. Okay, so Ganesh is all waking, dreaming, and deep sleep. And by working on Ganesh, he leads you to the dot in Om, which is the I am, which is you. The whole journey is about going back to you. We have the most powerful juice there is. And all these murtis, the philosophy, the bhakti, the pilgrimage is to awaken us. I'm trying to people don't know that the yogic scriptures like Puranas, they talk about pilgrimages. Ram has been on pilgrimage, Pandavas, all the Puranas, especially Skanda Purana. So all the sages have been on pilgrimages. Amma, Sadhguru, the popular ones on YouTube, Sri Ravi Shankar. But we are going to meet so many sages who don't do marketing. Okay, who are not like institutionalized. And I like the individual sages myself. We can, deeply connect with them. And pilgrimage is really part of this tradition. So I'm trying to awaken people that, hey, this is a practical thing. This is a real thing. You take Sedona, you multiply by 1,000,000, that's so much energy is there in these places. And then there are people who keep going back, like my friend Randy, who had to go to another Zoom meeting. But I'm saying he's been to India like 47 times? Yeah. That's crazy. Yeah. But not crazy. I would say it's divine insanity.
Manoj, does Randy have a job? Or is he just like independently wealthy?
You should ask him that. But at one point in his life, he was a chiropractor. I think he has blessings of Ma Lakshmi. Okay. But it's a legit question. I've never asked him that. I think he does.
The logistics of 48 trips is just like mind-boggling. Is that like multiple a year? Is that one a year? How does he do that? Who's allowing this PTO? Like, who's approving this?
Well, the wife is not there to disapprove. But I just feel lucky. I'm able to go. I've been going for 18 years, but I've gone by myself. I took people with me first time last December, and I'm going again next month. If any one of you want to join in at the last minute, you're welcome. It does cost cash, it does cost money, and you will expend some good karma, okay? Because the good karmas will come down, you'll expending it. So guess what happens? Yeah, the bad ones increase. But remember, the whole purpose of the trip is to pull the rug under the good and bad karmas. Because they stick to the ego. The whole purpose of the trip is self-realization. So at the end of the day, it's about our human goal. And this is the state. Let me show you a final murti, and I'll open it up for questions. Some of you have seen this. This is called Moksha Shiva. When normally Shiva dances as Shiva Nataraj, but here Shiva is upside down and he has broken the circle. The circle is oval now. That circle is a wheel of samsara. Where stuff happens to us, we all want good karma, but bad hits us. We all want good, but bad hits us. That's samsara. Keep doing the same thing over and over. And we're like literally putting a band-aid on our ego. That's what we're doing. Yes, Jody, I know you have that murti, moksha. So here he's upside down, he's free, he's flying. And what he's done is it's alchemy. He's taken the old karmas, which is apasmara at the bottom, and flipped it around. Okay. This is incredible. This is our pinnacle in our spiritual journey called Moksha Shiva. I'm going to send you that information, Pushpa. So I'm going to stop here. If you have any questions about anything, I want an opportunity for you to talk or ask questions or comment.
I have a thought.
And who's this? Let me go.
It's Christine.
Christine Moore, yes.
So coming back to Kali dancing on Shiva's linga, the linga represents the start of, or the kundalini, and the other foot is on the heart. And this is just a thought. It's not from my teachings. And so it seems like it's everything that you're discussing, the implementing from the form to the formless, the wake up of the kundalini, the kind of dance of Kali on her lover, that she's awakening. It's not, as someone said, to hurt him by standing on the linga. It's an honoring of it to me.
Absolutely. Kundalini is the aliveness. And sometimes it gets dormant and stuck, because of life. The asuras in the mythology come and take over our life. We kind of step away from the spiritual journey. And the lingam is like, it's called Shavasana, right? The yoga Shavasana comes from Shiva, the corpse pose. The lingam is like, so when Kali awakens it, it actually becomes this lingam, this one. Okay? And it becomes a Jyotir lingam, light. And there are 12 Jyotir lingams that are naturally formed in India. I mean, there's many lingam temples, but there are 12 Jyotir lingams, which are very special. And we're going to go to 3 of them. This looks also like a nuclear reactor. Look at this. Yeah. And interestingly, the Jyotirlingam are near water bodies. They're near rivers or ponds. Because a nuclear reactor takes water to cool it down. So you go there, and here's where science comes in. They found the highest radiation at these lingam spots, 12 spots in India. Natural radiation. So you go there, like, I don't know, Jack's still here. Yeah, there you go, Zach. Your hoodie. You went to Nasik in the Triambakeshwar. That's another Jyotirlingam. I was there last year, March. And man, I tell you, like, it was so hot. And you have to walk bare feet on those big stones outside the temple. But when I went near the temple, my feet cooled down, both me and Rajiv. We both kind of remarked. So this lingam pulls away the heat. It was incredible. The feet cooled down. I mean, it's intense heat, like 100-degree weather. There's real juice right here. Okay, so great point, Christine. This is the awakened Kundalini, which is the entire world. What lingam is the mass of consciousness. This is as close to the formless as you can get. It's an ellipsoidal shape. And the closest we get is when we're in deep sleep. There are no dreams, there's no ego, but there's pure consciousness. But it's temporary. We come out of deep sleep. So enlightenment or moksha is realizing you are this pure consciousness. Okay. And this is everyone's deep sleep in the whole world, past, present, and future. Everything is condensed in this. And it is like the Big Bang. We all come from one point, right? What 13.7 billion years ago. What physicists call the singularity. Time and space comes from that. And we all come from that one point, right? But nobody knows what happens before the Big Bang. Yeah? That's consciousness. That's deep sleep. There's no time. Okay? And from that one point, this one, Kali emerges. The dark goddess, goddess of space and time. And we literally come from Shiva and Shakti. So great question, Christine. Any other comments, questions?
Manoj, I have a question.
Yes.
When you said when you bring up or bringing down the good karma, the bad karma will come up. You're talking about just facing our shit when we're in a holy place or meditating a lot. I assume that's what you're talking about when you say bad karma.
No, I'm going to be blunt with you, okay? Because fuck all the marketing bullshit. What's going to happen is there's a fine balance of good and bad karma. When you are there, the good karma will hit you like a blast. And your good karma to go there is also being expended. So that fine balance of good and bad is changed now. Okay? So what happens when you come back? The bad is more. All I'm saying is not guaranteed, but shit might happen. Okay? Now, religions are founded on shit happening, right? Taoism says shit happens. Zen says the shit is going to hit the ceiling. Hinduism says this shit has happened in a past life. Catholics say you were born, so shit happened. You're supposed to be guilty. Jews say why the shit happened to us all the time. The Jehovah's Witness say knock knock shit's here. I'm saying the fact that shit might happen will cause you not to give a shit about the material world. Because the material world is, at the end of the day, shit. I'm just telling you plain. We will all become more and more like sadhus, sages, while living in the material world. And I'm also going to be blunt with you, like Julie asked that question. Where does Randy get all the cash from? It just comes, but you stop caring. You lose actually ambition in this journey. You lose ambition, competitiveness, the desire to make more and more and more money. I was in that world. Literally, in 1998, I attained my dream. As a CEO, I became a CEO of a tech company, right? Most Indians you see are either CEOs or doctors or engineers or Uber drivers or 7-Eleven owners or gas station owners. Yeah. So I attained my dream and I fell hard because I had too much ego. Kali came into my life and gave me what is called a Kali moment. I will tell you guys, when you're going through a Kali moment, you feel amazing on the other side, but she will tear your life apart. Because I was deeply in the material world, very egotistic, ambitious, jealous, all those things. So when you're going through the Kali moment, she's on top of you. She's in charge. It's like having sex with an 800-pound gorilla. You're never done until she's done with you. So I'm saying we're going to have a darshan of Kali, okay? At the original spot where Kali lives, the Murti is a photograph, okay? Where we're going is a portal to the infinite. What starts, I have noticed this with myself, you know, and other folks. If you're a sincere spiritual seeker, you stop caring about the material world less and less. That's just my observation. Sorry, I'm being like blunt here. You know, this is very deep. This spiritual yatra is really powerful because it is a doorway to the self. My guru, he wrote a book. The I notion is a doorway to the self. Because the ego, whom we think we are, this limiting I, is actually become the doorway to the big I. Aham Brahmasmi, I am consciousness. So we can have these satsangs, we can have the yoga festivals, but to me it's a pale imitation of the real thing. Okay, that's why I keep going back. You should ask Randy why he keeps going back. Babananda has been to India many times. If I may ask, if you're still there, Babananda, how many times you've been to India on pilgrimage? Many, I'm guessing. And I know Dadi has been, I know Julia, you went once. That was a wild trip, you were telling me. Jack's been there once. I think you've been there once, Jody, I remember. Tamil Nadu? First one was 1978. Wow. Wait, was that when you were the Hare Krishnas, Babananda? I'm just scanning through the chats. So Pushpa, I'll send you information on the pilgrimage. Yeah, why take the bus when you're already there? I love that, right? That's what Neem Karoli Baba told Ramdas after reading a lot of acid tabs. Any other questions? So Babananda says his Hare Krishna flirtation happened in Los Angeles. The other thing is, some people feel, when they're new to India, it's a bit intimidating. It's not, because it's really about yourself. We're going to go take a deep dive. It doesn't matter how much you know, how much you don't know. Those are all like theoretical. We're going to the real thing, guys. You don't need any terminology. You don't need any of the pretendananda bullshit I see here. I need to go to India soon. Because there it's just real, people are natural. They don't, they don't need to put on that vibe that I'm spiritual. That's who they are,
Manojji,
Yes.
I moved over to Bali six months ago, and I'm here. It's pretty much my home now. So I'm close by, and I wasn't actually thinking about going to India, but now I am. So that's interesting. I might join you for at least one of the parts. I'll message you about that. And I'm
let's
curious.
talk about that. Congratulations.
Yeah.
So there was a woman
Thanks.
in group, last December. Her name was Shanti. Her life changed after India. She moved to Bali, it can help you make radical changes, transformation, okay? Especially when you feel stuck. But many people I know, their life changed in a deeply positive way too. So the karma can vary. We cannot pretend to know that we have all the answers. So Judy Jones has been to India many times. I'm reading her chat. Wow. You survived the pandemic in New York hospital because of the India pilgrimages. I'm going to get a recording of this festival, of this Zoom call.
Manoj, can I ask you one thing about Ganesh?
Yes.
I'm gonna guess that it's not the size of the murti that matters, but how you use it. And I'm saying that because this is who I travel with.
I know.
And you can see he has this little tiny trident and his tusk, and he's got the thread around his back.
I love that. So
and that's all he's got there. As you see,
but
along with his trunk.
I know where it's made. It's either Thailand or Bali, and it's a very high quality murti. So the trident is important. The symbols are important. So it represents the three states of consciousness: waking, dreaming, and deep sleep. So when you hold it, you say, I'm not the waker, I'm not the dreamer, I'm not the deep sleeper, I am that I am. The broken tusk is very important because both mythologically and philosophically and your journey, because as most of you know, he was asked to write the Mahabharata from where the Bhagavad Gita came, and the deal was he should write it uninterrupted. So when the ink went off, he broke his tusk and finished writing it. So I'm going to ask any of you, what does that symbolize to you when he broke his tusk to write the scripture where the Bhagavad Gita comes from? And say your name. What does broken tusk mean to you?
Like a sacrifice.
Yes, and who's this?
Lori.
Yes, absolutely. It's self-sacrifice for a noble task, right? It also means don't procrastinate. Get the job done when it's something sacred and important. It's going to shift humanity. He sacrificed a part of himself for a noble task, right? A body part. But there's a deeper philosophical meaning. He's called Ekadanta. Remember in that scripture, Ganapati Atharva Shirsha. That broken tusk means He wants to draw attention on what's left, the one tusk. So in this philosophy of Vedanta, Advaita Vedanta, non-dual consciousness, it is what is remaining that's important. He broke his tusk to show the oneness. So suppose there's a window here that separates that outside from inside. You break the window, you break the broken tusk. There's only oneness now. There's no outside, inside. It's the same with the philosophy. It's negating what is apparent, this Truman Show, this matrix we live in, to realize the oneness. You can never know the oneness because you are that. We can only abide in that. So that broken tusk is very powerful, and I'm glad you have that, Aaron. Any other question? I think we've been going at it for an hour.
How about Turiya, the fourth?
So great point. Roy, where are you from again? I forgot.
I never said it. I'm from LA. I'm from Los Angeles. Excuse me. My daughter's Kemi, and I think you mentioned her. She said to say hello to you.
Wow. I don't believe we met. Thank you, Roy. So it's the same as Ganesha's. You see the trident in his forehead. You see the trident?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, the light is. And then underneath that is a Om. Okay. But when you look at the trident, the Turiya is you. And Turiya is not a separate state, as some people think. This is coming from the Mandukya Upanishad. Turiya is always there.
Brahman.
Not a whole separate state. It's Brahman, it's consciousness. That is what is enabling this show, the Maya.
Thank you.
Again, there's a deep, deep philosophy that takes years and years of study. That's what Akemi, your daughter, was studying from my wife, Jyoti. And I must say, Jyoti loved her as a student. Because Akemi would go to a park to get good Wi-Fi and take a 1 hour class from Jyoti, you know. And these things really, you know, a teacher in this tradition, when a student reaches out, it's very rewarding. You know, it's actually keeps the teacher going. So when I look at all your faces, you know, that you're giving me this time, your attention, it touches my heart, you know, it keeps me going. So I'm doing it for a selfish motive, guys. We're all friends. We all met somewhere, you know. I just love all of you. I have no one in my big house. So I just need someone to talk to, you know. Thank you. Any other questions?
Thank you, Manoj.
Thank you. See you next time. So if for anyone interested, the trip starts October 30. Okay. You can still make it if you want. The visa takes, I mean, Yoli had the world record in a group. She got a visa approved in 15 hours. And Yoli looks nice and calm, but I can see Kali like badass in her. Yeah. And visa is very fast. Ticket takes 5 minutes on Expedia. The main thing is you got to make sure your passport expires at least 6 months after your arrival. That's the main thing. And, you know, I've had 3 a.m. phone calls last year. If you remember, some of you remember Duncan, he came at the last minute. So he called me at 3 at night, and, you know, so I'm at your service if you want to call me anytime. Okay.
Manoj,
Julia,
how many people are signed up so far?
I'm looking at 10 to 15. Somewhere in the middle, some people are doing that, you know. I actually, it's interesting. I am going to very much enjoy. To me, this is a small group. Okay. Like my daughter Janita told me she was part of a group last year, and there were like 30 people.
Yeah. No,
That's
thank
a
you.
lot. It got out of control. That was
Unsubscribe. Yeah, no, thank you.
the I don't know. There's some, there's some advantages. Of course, there's more money, but the energy felt very rushed. I didn't feel I spent time deeply with everyone. I remember Jack telling me to have one-on-ones with everyone. So this time we will all hang together, spend time in the river, having satsangs, in the pool. Because I did it in the jungle in Mexico, I was inspired by pool satsangs. So we will do river satsang, chanting, meditation, puja. Just make sure you're upstream of me. You don't want to be downstream of me. What happens under the water stays in the water. Any other?
Okay, brother. Good night,
Thank you,
sir.
Jason Baba.
Yes,
Thank
sir.
you.
Good night.
Good night. So thank you again. I'm going to gently sign off. And who asked me about the pilgrimage in the comment? Let me look at it.
It was Jacob bot, Jackbot, Jackbot,
Say that again.
Jackbot, Jacob bot. I'm not sure. I've never seen that name before.
It could have been a chat GPT chatbot, bro.
I don't think it was. I don't think so. It's like the fifth chat up from the bottom.
Okay. I think I know who it is.
Mm-hmm.
A yoga teacher. So I'll send the information. So thanks again. Do you have, is Brandon Baba still there? I think he's gone. No, he's still there. Are you taking time off from the retreat, Baba?
Say it again.
Are you taking some, when do you come back to San Diego?
Oh, we come back tomorrow morning.
Awesome. So Brandon was the one, there's a WhatsApp group, for people who are coming or serious. They're in the WhatsApp group. I introduced Brandon yesterday. I introduced a couple more people. Catherine from Louisiana, she couldn't make the chat. I introduced Ancha, and originally from Switzerland, but she got sick. There's quite a few people who tell me they are sick, including 2 went to ER. So there's something going on. That's why I did the Dhanvantari meditation in the beginning. So Brandon, just just message me if you have questions. I personally would, I'm trying to pass on this tradition to people who carry it on, So I think you're a big part of people who carry it on.
Well, I'm honored to receive the invitation, and I know that Ma will make it happen if she wills it. So
It's only Ma, brother. Jai Ma.
Jai Ma.
Thank you, Siddharth, Michael Emmett from Ann Arbor, Michigan. Your moksha, no, not your Hanuman will come, or it's on its way. Kurt must have shipped it.
I had a quick question about the Shiva moksha. What are the markings on the bottom of his feet?
Yeah, good question. You had asked me in text too. So that's like a yantra, okay? And there are many things I'm still learning, for instance. Like when you look at his legs, let me bring the moksha. So What you mean is the yantra, okay? At the bottom of his feet. Hard to see, but you have to contemplate. I don't know myself, but when you look at the legs, he's gracefully up. Now, when you do a handstand in yoga, the hand and leg muscles are like contorted with stress because you're like deep muscular stress. Look at what he's doing here. He's first of all doing a one-handed handstand, and his hand is bent, and the legs are gracefully up. There's no muscular stress, and it's slightly twisted. That's important too. The hand is slightly bent. It's not like straight. Like if you're doing a handstand with two hands, your hands are straight and like shivering in tension. What this means is, it's effortless. The idea of moksha is effortlessness, no doership. Because the ego in us wants that feeling that I am doing, I'm in charge. When it's actually Ma in charge, okay? And then the hand and feet are slightly twisted. It's the same reason Ganesha's trunk is twisted. It's called Vakratunda, the twisted trunk. It means continue doing the spiritual work. It is not an easy path where the elephant's trunk hangs down, it's twisted. It means this whole journey is about keeping that twist always. To be swan-like. That's why the great sages are called Paramahamsa. Like Yogananda, Ramakrishna. They are swan-like. They glide through water. The life is like they glide through life effortlessly, but under the water, a swan scurries. So that's like doing the work, doing sadhana. So I'm glad you noticed it. It took me a long time to figure out why every Ganesha's trunk is twisted. You will not find this in Google. You have to kind of contemplate and come up to how you live your life. Ultimately, these symbols are it's about your life. So it's a triangle. It's the symbols of these murtis. It's the mythology behind them. And it's your life. It's actually a triangle, Baba. That's the conversation you and I had last weekend. I'm just trying to complete triangles for everyone. That's my job. Otherwise, my main man, Ganesh, kicks my ass. I just love the attention span here. People are like giving me that time. I'm honored. Any question, Julia, on the pilgrimage? I know you normally do. You can ask in the WhatsApp group too. I think we beat it up enough. Just show up to India, Yeah, you too, Lori. Just show up and see what happens. So thank you again.
Thank you, Manoj.
Thank
I
you.
love you guys. Jai Ganesh.
Right.
Love you.
Love you, Judy.
See you soon, Manoj.
Peace.